It's Wednesday night, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for tuning into the Digital Forge Broadcast Network. I'm Dustin Caldwell, and the Modified Madness Tour storms into Martinsville Speedway for 125 laps of good, hard, short track race action tonight. Drivers are set to finish up their qualifying laps. As they are doing so, we are going to go to the playing of the national anthem when we come back. Got a lot to talk about happening in this tour, and expect to see some good hard racing taking place here at the Paperclip. So we will be back right after this, folks. Stay tuned. It's going to be a great night of racing coming your way. morning, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for tuning in to the Digital Forge Broadcast Network this Wednesday night as the Modified Madness Tour back in action, storming into Martinsville here tonight for 125 laps of pure modified open wheel short track racing action coming your way. Tonight is a special night as we take a look at the points as Christian Peterson in the Tour Modifieds picking up a victory last week at a very, very foggy Rockingham race. Picks up not only his fourth win, but crests over the rest of the Tour Modified drivers and takes over the lead in the points. A very hard-fought battle for that gentleman right there as he has tried to work his way up to the top after that fatal flaw at USA, the very first race of the year. Put him back a little bit further than he would have liked. Came in, took the pole at USA, took tires, which was against the league rules, and thus created a very big divot for him to work himself out of. And tonight, ladies and gentlemen, he'll be defending his series points lead here at Martinsville. Tanner Cook last week picked up the victory at Rockingham. Picked up his third victory in the season, so he's looking pretty well in the points there in the light modified. So if you're tuning in for the first time here tonight, we've got a lot of guys I know out there from the Avalon gaming community joining us here tonight. Going to see two different types of cars on the track. They're going to look the same, but you're going to have one that has a lot more horsepower, the Tour Modifieds that you're going to see here tonight. As designated by the letter T next to the drivers' names, are pushing over 600 horsepower around this small half-mile track. The light modifieds as designated by the L to the left of the drivers' names. Those are the light modifieds pushing about 385 horsepower. But looking at the race information here tonight, there it is here at Martinsville Speedway, half-mile track. We've got 82 degrees in the air, 72% humidity, partly cloudy, and down on that pavement, take a look at that temperature, 108 degrees. It is cooking down there on that pavement. What does that mean for these drivers? It's going to get slick in these very narrow turns. Fast battles down the straightaways. If you're going to pass, you got to do it in the straightaways or really bump and bruise your way around these corners. So we'll see how these drivers apply this to their racecraft to be able to get to the front when that checkered flag falls here at about 125 laps. Kyle Barnes out there giving the drivers their meeting. They're talking about the racing here tonight, trying to keep a good, clean race out there on this track. And about 1 minute remaining till we head down there to the grid. Folks, if you like what we got out here, you can find us on the web at forgebroadcasting.com, on Facebook. You can find us at, just look up Digital Forge Broadcasting Network and give us a like out there. You can stay up to date and in the know as to the races that we got. Our schedule is on our website. These guys out here, Championship Racing Association is the league. All that together right there as you see right above Martinsville. AllThatTogether.com is the league's website. Kyle Barnes holds down over there. So if you're an iRacing driver and you want to get involved in this league, you can find him out there in the directory. Make sure you get a chat with Kyle, and you could be on your way to some great short track racing. We got the Dire Turtle, we got Victor, we got Steve out there in the chat tonight, partaking a little bit. Pleasure you guys tuning in. Also Yotak out there. And it's going to be some great racing action as now qualifying has come to a close. We're going to be moving to the grid. Drivers will move out of pit road up to the track here and momentarily. Victor out there, Static Stasis, giving him a shout out for tuning in. Appreciate you tuning in. And drivers now begin to make their way out to the track, out of pit road. You can start to see the pace car down there by the flag stand. Here is what your starting grid is going to look like tonight. There's your tour lineup. Seth the Merchant on the pole, the number 35 car. To his outside will have the 23 of Christian Peterson. Tom Hameka, Cody Fisher making his debut here tonight. Will round out the second row. The third row is going to be Kyle Leveralt, Wade Cheetah. Fourth row, Robbie Bunden, Don LeBayer. And that's going to do it for the front eight of the tours. Tanner Cook got the pole here tonight for the tours, or the lights, excuse me. Jody Green will be to his outside. Scott Naslin, Zach Knowles John Clements, Kyle Barnes trying to find a wiggle room in there for the lights. And Peter Talamas and Benny Ellison rounds out the field here this evening. Again, folks, this is the Modified Madness Tour Championship Racing Association League here at Martinsville. As we are waiting on the drivers to fully get off of pit road and make their way out to the grid. As you can see, some of the cars down there lined up, ready to go. Seth the Merchant up there up front, the number 35 machine. With that PS Designs sponsor on his car. We're trying to fend off that 23 of Christian Peterson. 6-man Inc. Peterson irrigation sponsor on that car. Jody Green back there in the lights. Be battling with Tanner Cook. Tanner Cook, the 96, running the Randy's Tire Shop, Cook Motorsports. Jody Green, Unacceptable Racing, Griftco Property Management, the sponsors on that car. Here we go, ladies and gentlemen, starting that pace lap. Got two of them coming at you before the green flag flies. Again, it's 125 laps coming at you. Dyer Turtle out there with his signature banana call. Pace car set to go into the pits this time around in turn number 3. Tour Modified tonight going to have some issues trying to get around these light modified drivers. Here we go, ladies and gentlemen, into the backstretch. Pace car set to go into the pits. There it goes. Into the third and fourth turn, Peterson to Merchant. Here we go, ready for racing action. Blackman ready to get the signal.
Green, green, green.
And the green flag flies. We're off to the race. And a clean move to the first turn. Here we go, into turn number 3. And it is Seth the Merchant, the number 35, running that lower groove, has Christian Peterson right behind him. Tom Hameka and Cody Fisher battling it out for third. Side-by-side race action coming at you. Tom Hameka solidly in third position now. Right behind Kyle Leverall, or Cody Fisher, is Kyle Leverall, the number 7 machine. Battles his way down the backstretch, single file line. The Tour Modifieds now starting to pull away from the lights. As we look back to the lights, there is your pole sitter here tonight. Tanner Cook, the Virginia driver with a fast lap time, 20.285. Works his way into the first turn here on lap number 4. Expect to see a good battle between Tanner Cook and that guy right there, the 13 of Jody Green. An orange and black machine working its way through turn number 4. This Carolina driver wants to get as many points as possible and try to beat that guy just ahead of him, the 96 of Tanner Cook. Now in the third and fourth turn comes Seth the Merchant. Still has Christian Peterson behind him. Into lap number 6 they go. Backstretch towards turn number 3. You can see the battle and how close Christian Peterson is to Seth the Merchant as they work their way out of the fourth turn into the front stretch. A little bit of daylight between the two, nowhere really to pass in that straightaway. Peterson has got to figure out a good way to get around the Merchant. Looks to the outside, nothing to do it. As the Merchant will throw a block up to the high side as they work their way through third and fourth turn. Back into the front stretch. This is how fast this track goes, folks. Half mile in the shape of a paperclip. And now Peterson looks to the inside. Can he get there before turn number 3? Not going to happen, as Seth the Merchant has the quality line this part in the race. But there is Christian Peterson finding some daylight coming out of turn number 4. But that fast racecraft of the 35 is going to stay ahead into lap number 9. Cody Fisher, new driver here tonight. This Florida driver started 4th on the grid with a fast lap time 19.240. Currently running about 117 miles an hour before hitting turn 1 here in lap number 10. Right behind him, the 7 of Kyle Leverall trying to hold off fast man Wade Cheetah. This guy is going to be one you want to watch out for here tonight. He can sneak up on you, and he's trying to do it out of turn number 4. Gets just a little bit loose as we see a little wiggle from the number 12 machine. Tanner Cook now into the front stretch. This is the separation, folks, between the Tour and the lights. Tanner Cook has about a 2-car length lead over the 13 of Jody Green into the backstretch towards turn number 3. Scott Naslund just off the pace here in 3rd position. A little bit of connection issues coming out of turn number 4. Zach Knowles, the 99 machine. Hard-fought battle last week at Rockingham. And currently running here in 4th position in the lights. Down the backstretch towards turn number 3. Christian Peterson able to get around Seth the Merchant. Heading into lap number 14. As they work their way around turns 1 and 2. This is just how fast you can have the lead and how fast it can be taken away from you, folks, in a matter of 2 laps. Christian Peterson was able to work and grind his way around Seth the Merchant and is now starting to pull away. And just ahead, you got some lap traffic, the light modified driver. Zach Knowles just ahead of Christian Peterson. The 55 of John Clements. Peterson to the high side. Benny Ellison in front of Clements. Peterson around Clements. Here he goes into the backstretch. To the inside of Benny Ellison. It's starting to shake up now as Benny Ellison pushes high to allow the Tours through. Zach Knowles just ahead of Seth the Merchant into turns 1 and 2. Peterson will look to the inside. The Merchant Knowles nearly hitting the wall coming out of turn number 2. Pass Knowles to the inside. Here comes Tom Hameka. You can see the mix-up of the light modified drivers as Tanner Cook and Jody Green through turns 3 and 4. Still have yet to meet the Tour modifieds. As we go on board here with Christian Peterson up in the Tour modifieds, just coming up to the leader. This is what it's like to be on board and how fast-paced this is. Heading towards Tanner Cook, Jody Green, and Scott Naslund now. Peterson right behind Naslund coming out of the 4th turn into the front stretch. Naslund still with a little bit of connection issues. Here those tires really working through those turns. Down the backstretch towards turn number 3. And Naslund just ahead, not giving any way for the Tour modified leader. To the inside he goes. And Christian Peterson now. Nice sizable 1.3, 1.4 second lead over Seth the Merchant. really aggressive move there to get to the inside of both Jody Green and Tanner Cook before turn number 1. Some side-by-side race action between Cook and Green. It will be quelled down the backstretch before turn number 3. Back to single files for the lights. The Merchant now looking to get through. Here is the Merchant to the inside of Jody Green. Will not be able to clear Tanner Cook before turn 2. Difference in horsepower right here, folks. As Seth the Merchant gets around Tanner Cook in turns 3 and 4 into the front stretch. And looks like Tanner Cook's having some connection issues. That Rockstar Energy light modified through 3 and 4 here into lap number 26. Out to a 2.5 lead, the 23 of Christian Peterson. Seth the Merchant right behind him. This is the Modified Madness Tour. We're going to take a short commercial break, folks. Been some good hard racing so far into lap number 28. Still more to come your way. Don't go anywhere, folks. We'll be right back.
How much longer do you want to wait for Dave to talk about this dart release?
Why? What's he doing?
I'm pretty sure he's playing Pokemon again.
Again?
Yes, again.
Welcome back this Wednesday night as Tanner Cook to the outside of these guys trying to make his way and put a little separation between him and Jody Green here into lap, heading towards lap number 37. Jody Green now on the bumper, looks to the inside of Tanner Cook. Can he get down enough? He'll be to the inside groove, but it's not going to help him until the backstretch. Tanner Cook through 3 and 4, still at the race lead. Total of 34 laps led now for the 96. Christian Peterson up there in the Tour Modifieds with the lead. 25 laps led, set the Merchant, the guy behind him coming out of the turn number 2 into the backstretch. 12 laps led there for the 35. Little separation now between Tanner Cook and Jody Green. It's been a hard-fought battle between these two so far here in the first 40 laps of this race. Scott Naslund back in third position, still having some connection problems. Zach Knowles. The 99 into turn number 3 is being faced with Kyle Leverall. Just behind him. Lemire now into the front stretch. Nice side-by-side race action as Christian Peterson into the backstretch. More traffic ahead for the 23. This could be the break that Seth the Merchant's looking for, as currently Peterson leading by about 3.1 seconds. Jody Green, Tanner Cook, the two leaders in the light modifieds. Lead both leaders from both sides. Oh, and Tanner Cook's going to come down. Put a little block action there on Christian Peterson. There is the light and Tour modified leaders side by side yet again. Peterson screaming away in the front stretch into lap number 45. Tanner Cook still trying to hold off the 13 of Jody Green. Modified Madness Tour coming up next week. Rolls into Stafford Motor Speedway. Another 125 lap race taking place there. Be the 10th race of the season. Leaving about 8 more to go. Tonight officially the halfway point of the Modified Madness Tour. Drivers racing towards a nice little prize as they had to pay an entry fee to get in this league. Jody Green now looks to chase down Tanner Cook into the front stretch, heading into lap number 48. Nice little battle brewing back here for fourth as Cody Fisher just ahead of Kyle Leverall. Wade Cheetah as well is right there with him. Again, Cody Fisher, the 83 car, making his debut here tonight in Martinsville for the Modified Madness Tour. Wade Cheetah looking to get around Kyle Leverall. Let's see what he does here into turn number 3. Peterson crossing the start-finish line into lap 51, 1/3 of the race complete. Now in the books as 23 sails down the backstretch, making his way towards the bumper of the 99 of Zach Knowles. Knowles back there still in 4th position there in the lights, working his way into turns 1 and 2. Nearly 3 wide action back there in the front stretch. Don Lemire, Robbie Bunden, John Clements. And now it looks like to the high side goes Benny Ellison. allowing the Tour Modifieds to take the inside through. The Buyer goes through. Ellison back there in the top 5. Peterson through turns 1 and 2 in lap 55. Makes his way down the backstretch, starting to push coming out of turn number 2. Have to see if that will affect him. Very different track than last week. We were at Rockingham. Guys in the light modifieds were able to hold the throttle wide open all the way to the floor. It's almost like driving a super speedway for them. And this track here proven to be a little bit more, as they got to use some brake, they got to use some throttle, really roll this car through these turns. And now Seth the Merchant looks to pass Zach Knowles to the inside. Side by side they go out of turn number 2. Tour Modified 35 of Seth the Merchant. A little bit of looseness will pull away from the 99 Knowles. Down the backstretch into turn number 3, Tanner Cook. Still the driver to beat in the lights right now. Has led pretty much the whole race. Jody Green there as Leverall passes him to the inside. Tour Modified sweeping through these lights on the inside groove. Wade Cheetah, the Tour Modified, passing through Jody Green. Green going to make a little contact with the wall there. And now Tanner Cook sees Cody Fisher in his rear view mirror. Roll to the inside of Cook into turn number 3. Wade Cheetah will pass Tanner Cook as well. Just what this dynamic of the 2 different classes brings to this tour, folks. Light modifieds, again, not running the same horsepower. Tour Modifieds having a 4-barrel carb engine. Tour Modifieds, or light modifieds, having a 2-barrel carb engine. Again, Tour Modifieds push over 600 horse.
Caution is out. Caution is out.
Oh, and we're going to have a caution flag. And I believe this one's going to be a competition caution here. Not seeing any drivers with damage or issues. I believe this will be a competition caution thrown by race control to give the guys opportunities to get some fuel. While they pace it out, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to take a short commercial break. We come back, we'll have some more race action coming your way, so stay tuned. We'll be right back.
iRacing.com is a sim racing game that combines a true-to-life racing experience with an online community of virtual racers from all over the globe. iRacing offers a multitude of officially licensed cars and tracks, laser scanned with millimeter accuracy. Their car models and mechanical systems are based on real-world physics, and engineered in cooperation with manufacturers and race teams. iRacing's web-based interface allows members to compare stats and test drive any combination of car and track instantly. Their skill license system ranges from rookie to pro, ensuring members are always pitted against those with similar skill sets. Members are able to sign up for a weekly race series, compete in time trials, host a private race with friends, and participate in racing leagues created and run by the community. With over 60,000 members, iRacing works in partnership with renowned motorsport organizations like SRO Motorsports Group to deliver virtual races based on the real-life Blancpain GT series. iRacing's Blancpain Endurance Series features team racing, giving members the ability to build a team and participate in races ranging from 3 hours to 24 hours. Additional partners include NASCAR, IMSA, V8 Supercars, IndyCar, allowing members to race in their very own 24 hours of Spa, Bathurst 1000, Daytona 500, and many more. iRacing.com, delivering the most authentic racing experience short of getting into a real race car.
Welcome back to Martinsville this Wednesday night for the Modified Madness Tour as the pace car heads into the pits. We're going to be back green on lap number 69. Out of the forward turn, check-up action. Here we go.
Green flag, green
The
flag.
green flag flies. We're back to the race. Down the back stretch towards turn number 3. Side by side to Merchant and Peterson. A little bit of contact into the fourth turn. Peterson will take over the race lead into lap 70. You can really see these guys battling it out of turn number 2. Tour modified single file lining it out. As Tanner Cook, Jody Green, Scott Naslund still the top 3 cars in the light modifieds coming across the start finish line into lap 71. Jody Green trying to get up to Tanner Cook. Looks like Scott Naslund's going to try to make a pass. Excuse me, that's LeBayer, Don LeBayer, the Tour modified passing through Scott Naslund into the backstretch. We'll be looking to chase down Jody Green and Tanner Cook. Peterson out of turn number 4 into the front stretch into lap 75. Really starting to pull away from Seth the Merchant yet again. Out to 1.4 seconds of the lead. The Merchant solid in second position coming down the front stretch across the start finish line. Tom Hameka there with Cody Fisher not too far behind him. Into the front stretch they go. Leverall, the number 7 machine that you see back there, into the back stretch. Leverall Motorsports, the sponsor on that car. Right behind him, 12-plate Cheetah. MaxFire.com Chevrolet engine powering that number 12 machine. Through turns 1 and 2 behind the number 7 of Kyle Leverall. the separation for you. That's a good showing right there. Tour Modifieds looking pretty consistent and close together, except this guy right here. Christian Peterson, very dominant here in the mid to halfway point of this race. Total of 65 now, 66 laps led for the number 23. Nice little gap there. 2.7 seconds gap between DeMerchant and Peterson. Tanner Cook also looking really dominant in the lights as he heads into lap number 81. 78 laps for this Virginia driver, leading that light modified division into turn number 3. Peterson now looking to the bumper of Clements. Clements to the lower groove in turn 3. Peterson checks up just a little bit to allow the 55 through. We'll take him on the high side in the front stretch. Great race action here in Martinsville. This is the Modified Madness Tour this Wednesday night. We're going to take another short commercial break. We'll be back right after this, folks.
Some noise. Gentlemen, start your engines.
AMSLeague.com is the premier iRacing league for action-packed racing from green to checkered. Prepare yourself to start every week right with the AMSLeague.com Wounded Warrior Project Cup Series, Tuesday nights at 9:20 Eastern Time, right here exclusively on the Digital Forge Broadcasting Network. You will not find a better connected Oval League and community in the iRacing service. AMSLeague.com provides the highest level of competitive racing while holding true to our Have Fun First motto. Prepare yourself for the best Tuesday night oval racing on Sim Racing Earth at AMSLeague.com. Also, check out our Monday Night Truck Series and Wednesday IndyCar Series. And remember, you can watch all of our Wounded Warrior Project Cup Series races live, right here on the Digital Forge Racing Network. AMSLeague.com. A premier iRacing league with a great group of drivers.
Welcome back. Heading into lap number 97, the leader of the Tour Modifieds, the 23 of Christian Peterson, still leads the field. Has about a 4.5 second lead over the 35 of Seth the Merchant. Heading into lap number 98, we've only had one caution flag. Let's take a look. There's your race summary on the left-hand side of your screen, folks. 96 laps completed, 3 lead changes from the Tour Modifieds, 1 total caution. Tanner Cook now into turns 3 and 4. Still a dominant performance out of this 96 machine as he works his way into the front stretch towards turn number 1. Jody Green just a little bit behind him, about 2.93 seconds. Cody Fisher to the inside of Jody Green. Typically, with the exception of Cody Fisher being a new driver, you're going to notice one major difference between the light modifieds and the Tours, and you see Wade Cheetah go by Jody Green there. The blue number cars are the Tour Modifieds, folks. So Robbie Bundham to the inside of Jody Green is the Tour Modified. The red number cars there. Scott Naslund back behind Jody Green as we follow the 13 around are the light modifieds. Heading on board with Tanner Cook as he works his way into turns 1 and 2. Push just a little bit, allow that 14 car by. That is Tom Hameka, the Tour Modified, again denoted by the blue numbering that you see on the back right of that machine. On board with your Tour leader, Tour Modified, the New England driver Christian Peterson. Down the backstretch behind Benny Ellison, just
All right,
ahead.
mate, caution is out. Caution is out.
Caution flag coming out in the air. As we look through the field to see if we can see any cars damaged. Base car comes out onto the track. Just on board with that driver right there. We're going to see if we can get you a driver interview, folks. Go back on board with the 23 of Christian Peterson. Peterson not available at this point in time. So we're going to go on board with the leader back in the lights, Tanner Cook. Tanner Cook, this is Dustin Caldwell in the booth. Are you there?
Yeah, man, I'm here.
Well, you find yourself up front tonight, battling hard with Jody Green early on, but it really started to pull away. How's the car handling tonight in Martinsville?
Like a dream right now. The tires haven't fell off any. We're still running consistent lap time, so I think it's wide open to the rest of the race.
A lot of the drivers talk about here at Martinsville, the curb there that you're passing now in turns 1 and 2. Does it seem like it's been a factor for you here tonight, especially when these Tour guys are trying to get around you?
No, not really. If you can time it right, most of the Tour guys will pass you going down the straightaway, and you can get back down on the bottom. But there's been a couple times I've been hung out there, and Jody's really gotten run, so here late in the race, we're probably going to have to watch that real close.
All right, is there any additional thanks or shout-outs you'd like to give?
Yeah, let's thank all the sponsors, and let's hope for a good finish tonight.
Doing the Randy's Tire Shop at Cook Motorsports, sponsors proud, Tanner Cook. Best of luck to you in the laps to come, bud.
Thanks, sir. Hope you enjoy it.
There you have it, folks. A little driver interview action there for you from Tanner Cook, leader of the light modifieds tonight. You see the drivers moving, swaying left and right, trying to get all the marbles off their tires. Clean their tires off, be ready to go racing here as the lights come off that pace car. We'll be back green on lap 110. Pace car into the pits. It's going to be DeMarchant Peterson up front in the tours. Here we go through turns 3 and 4 into the front stretch. Flag man ready to give the signal.
Green flag.
The green flag flies. We're back to the race on lap 110. Oh, and Hameka is going to get a little bit of tap out of turn number 2. Going to get loose. And Peterson working that lower groove, but DeMarchant's got the nose out. He's going to push at turn 4. Gets a little bit loose as he pushes to the high side. And Christian Peterson back to the race lead in triple ones. Lap 111 out of turn number 2. Hameka got a little bit loose. The 83 of Cody Fisher now moves into third position through turns 3 and 4. Here comes Hameka, the number 14 machine right there behind him. Spacing now happening between the drivers. Don LeBayer in Wade Cheetah way back there with a little bit of light cars in between. Jody Green now is out to the front as Tanner Cook has fallen back to third. Zach Knowles moves into second position. So Jody Green has got back to the race lead. He started to the outside of the first row here tonight for the lights. And the Carolina driver, total of 2 laps led, looks to pick up some more this time by. Number 13 and Jody Green just ahead of Zach Knowles. Knowles into the front stretch is got about a 4-car length, 5-car length lead gap, I should say, in front of him and Tanner Cook. Tanner Cook, the 96 Rockstar machine, into turns 3 and 4, trying to get back to the race lead. Very dominant here tonight. Share that information right there. 107 laps led for this 96 machine. Peterson still has DeMarchant within reach as he heads through turns 2 into the backstretch. Trying to shake off the 35, but DeMarchant, one of these drivers that is known to rally back at the later half of the race and is doing so now with the help of a few caution flags. The gap is starting to close in lap 118 as DeMarchant starting to run down Christian Peterson. Take a look at this, folks. Out of turn number 4, DeMarchant really closing the gap, getting a little bit loose though. It's the second time we've seen that car get loose out of turn number 4, but really trying to drive the wheels off of that 35 machine. Gaining and gaining. What a battle between these two drivers. And a little bit of looseness there is going to open up some daylight for Christian Peterson as DeMarchant got loose coming out of turn number 2. No tire changes for these guys, and now there's the light modifieds and a tour modified ahead. Benny Ellison to the outside as DeMarchant and Peterson work their way around turn number 2. LeBayer just ahead of him. LeBayer not giving any way. They're going to have to work for it to the inside. Christian Peterson goes side by side with LeBayer. We'll have the position in turns 1 and 2 to get around. Lap traffic there. LeBayer pushes high out of turn number 2. Clements, the light modified driver, to the inside. They're going to make contact. And DeMerchant making contact. Thought he was in the clear of Clements. Was not quite clear. Contact made. Now DeMerchant's going to tag the wall out of turn number 2 on lap 123. And the gap extends to about a half a second between Peterson and DeMerchant. Jody Green back there in the lights is looking pretty solid. Holding down the first position as Tanner Cook has gotten around the 99 of Zach Knowles and looks to reel in that 13 machine as we're just about 25 laps away from the checkered flag. Knowles into turns 1 and 2 behind Tanner Cook. Cook 1.33 seconds off of Jody Green. Peterson now behind more light modified drivers. The 33 is Scott Naslund. Peterson swings by the inside into turn number 3, and take a look at that. Naslund is going to block DeMerchant. DeMerchant's going to tag him and really put him in the wall. Very impressively, though, Scott Naslund, from getting tagged like that, was able to hold the car together. And with a little bit of connection issues still plaguing him here in the later half of this race. He continues to run in the top 4 of the light modifieds. Peterson around Knowles through turn number 2. Here in lap 129 down that back stretch towards turn number 3. With about a 9/10 of a second gap between him and DeMerchant. Tanner Cook just ahead. Cook with the lower groove through turns 1 and 2. Peterson will look to the inside this time by in the front stretch. Extra horsepower, a helping hand here before turn number 1 as the 23 goes around the 96. Peterson now looking to get around the leader of the light modifieds as Jody Green just ahead. And will do so to the inside. As we switch over to Green, right there's Peterson just ahead of him. And Jody Green tonight with a total of 20 laps led here for the light modifieds. Heading into lap 133. The gap towards that checkered flag is closing as Seth DeMerchant passes Jody Green on the inside. Cody Fisher back there out of turn number 2 behind the 33 is Scott Naslund. Running third tonight in his debut race here at Martinsville for the Modified Madness Tour. Definitely hear how these guys have to work the throttle brakes. Just really roll this car through these turns. Naslund ahead. Now, folks, again, for those of you who are watching, this driver, Scott Naslund, 33, even though he's in a different class, he does not have to yield. He can put up competition fights here with Cody Fisher. He does not have to let him by. Oh, and Fisher looking really loose out of turn number 2. Tom Hameka gaining some ground on the 83 out of turn number 4. Tanner Cook has made his way back to Jody Green. Take a look at the battle into lap 137. for these two drivers. Tanner Cook, hungry to reclaim that light modified lead here at Martinsville. Through 3 and 4, really starting to run down Jody Green. When will he make his pass, folks? The chef is in the kitchen. Tanner Cook is ready to make his move on Jody Green. But Jody Green, very good at holding on to a lead once he's got it. He's not going to make it easy here for the 96. And Cook looks to the inside, but Jody Green says, I don't think so. Down the backstretch towards turn number 3. Still plenty of time to go. Next time by, 10 laps will be remaining in the race. Tanner Cook playing the patient game, waiting for the 13 of Green to slip up, but unfortunately Jody Green is on a rail tonight, making it really tough. Keep in mind, folks, when we talk about points, Jody Green is the series leader in points for the light modified. Tanner Cook moved up 4 positions with his victory in Rockingham last week, so he's currently in the top 10 in points. But he's doing what he can to try to knock off the 13 from the lead, as Benny Ellison tonight running in the top 5 is second in points, Scott Naslin third. Christian Peterson with about 6 laps to go this time around. Still with a 0.6 of a second gap between him and DeMerchant. Pretty much going to be his race to lose at this point. And some more Tour de Light modified action into turns 3 as Cody Fisher passes Tanner Cook to the inside. Cook's going to allow him by, and that's going to be detrimental on his chances to come back and for victory, as these Tour modified guys are going to push to the inside. Now Jody Green's going to get hung up in lap traffic. This could be the opportunity for Tanner Cook to rally back. Jody Green through this tank. Oh, look at that. Benny Ellison is pushing high out of turn number 4. Leverall to the inside of Jody Green. Oh, we got some near 3 wide action in turns 1 and 2. Almost making contact. Benny Ellison swaying a lot to this track. Will be right behind Tanner Cook. Tanner Cook still about 2.5 car lengths behind the 13 of Jody Green. 3 laps to go. Will Tanner Cook be able to have enough to pass Jody Green? Christian Peterson will see the white flag the next time by. Down the backstretch into turn number 3. Seth DeMerchant trying to catch him. Out of turn number 4, the white flag's in the air for the 23. 1 more lap to go for Christian Peterson. 2 more turns need to be flawless here, folks, as Christian Peterson now 3 and 4 behind the 55 of John Clements. Here he comes to the checkered flag. Your winner in the Tour Modifieds, Christian Peterson. What a battle in the backstretch, still to go for the lights, as Tanner Cook and Jody Green battle it out. Contact with Hameka. Tanner Cook to the inside. He's plowing through. What a beautiful move in the 96. Oh, wow. What a beautiful move. What a beautiful move for Tanner Cook. We've got to go back and take a look at that, folks. Let's run back the replay on that. If you ever need a late race miracle, in turn 4, there it was. Unbelievable. What a finish. Take a look at this, folks. Jody Green pretty much had it solidified. As we dial it back, we're going to go back a couple laps here to show you the intense battle. This is into the final lap. Tanner Cook really on the bumper of Jody Green, looks to the inside. Tom Hameka just ahead is just going to get plowed in turn 4. Right about here's contact between Green and Hameka. The doorway opens. The 96 comes waltzing on into turn number 3. That was what he needed right there. And Hameka comes down, but Tanner Cook says, I'm going to go right through you, buddy. Sorry about your luck, but I want this victory, and we'll do so right there to the inside. That 96 machine getting the break he needed in the last part, really drift racing it, and look how close it was as Jody Green to the outside. Heartfelt second position there for the 13 of Jody Green, but really, really awesome victory for that guy right there, the 96 of Tanner Cook. Unbelievable. And a victory burnout, rightfully so there for that Rockstar Energy Cook Motorsports 96. Dramatic ending here to what seemed like a stale race tonight, folks. This is why you watch from the beginning to the end. You never know what kind of drama is going to unfold. We're going to go look to get a driver interview now with the Tour Modified winner tonight. Joined with the 23 of Christian Peterson, picking up another victory. Victory number 5 here in the Modified Madness Tour. As you pull that 6-man Inc. Peterson irrigation machine into victory lane. Last week at Rockingham, got to tell you, or ask you, last week at Rockingham, very foggy race. You pulled off the victory there, came back ahead of the field in the series of points to take the lead tonight, knowing that you were going to have to defend it. What was going through your mind at the start of the race here at Martinsville?
I actually didn't know we got the points lead, so that's great to hear. I'll have to check the points after this race. It should be a little bit extended now. I don't know. I think we just got to get consistent finishes. We've been able to pretty much dominate myself and Seth, but it's been close at the end at a lot of these races, and it's probably going to be that way for the rest of them too. So you never know what could happen in these ones.
As tonight, we pretty much conclude the halfway point, the first half of the Modified Madness Tour. We take a quick jump back to that USA race. You had the pole going into it. You were very dominant, took the tires on accident, really created a big divot for you to really work yourself out of. You've done so in good fashion, come back, 5 total victories, the 4th one putting you at the top in points. Going forward, knowing that you got kind of a rivalry building here with Seth DeMerchant, what can we expect from that 23 machine in the later half of this tour?
Hopefully just the same thing you've seen so far, minus USA, just hopefully the team doesn't make any mistakes, and I do my job, and we should be able to keep it up front. But yeah, Seth definitely, I was in team speak with him, and I called him a sandbagger because he fell back, 5, 6 seconds there at the first half, and he was right there at the end. And I asked him during the race, like, "Are you backing off?" He's like, "No, I'm just slow." Yeah, that's not true because he was right there at the end with the old tires. So it was a lot of fun there. I thought he was actually going to get around me. He had me on my toes for the last 30 laps there.
All right. Well, is there any additional thanks or shout-outs you'd like to give for your victory number 5 taking place here tonight in Martinsville?
Just everybody at 6-man, everybody that participates, comes out to this race. I know I don't show up to much of the other CRA events, but I have a lot of fun here. So I look forward to the rest of the season.
All right. Well, congratulations on your victory here tonight, Christian. We'll see you next week at Stafford.
Thank you.
We're going to be joined now here with a very one of the guys involved in the very dramatic ending here out of turn number 4 in the light modified division, Jody Green, number 13 driver, joins us now. Talk a little bit about the race tonight. Very looking like a good race there with about 25 to go. You were pulling away a little bit from Tanner Cook. As we closed in on the final 10 laps, things started to get a little bit closer. Going into that last lap, into turn number 3, right there with Tom Hameka, a little bit of contact made there. Tell us what was going through your mind right there on that entry point of turn 3.
Well, what was going through my mind, probably not a good thing to say on live TV, but I don't know. I just can't figure out why he never picked up the gas off the turn 2. And I mean, it's just, I'm not saying anybody was waiting on me, but it just looked awful, like you said, dramatic. And I mean, I pretty much had it, and then just got it ripped away from me going into 3.
Well, knowing that I was talking with Christian Peterson about this, tonight we crest the halfway point of the Modified Madness Tour. You're at the helm of the light modifieds in points. Going next week into Stafford, what is this going to do as far as affecting your strategy to try to keep yourself at the top?
Unfortunately, you probably won't see me no more for the rest of the season because work's going to have me out of town Monday through Thursday for the next 6 weeks. But hopefully I can sneak back in or figure out a way to get my rig to the hotel room up next to Virginia and see if I can keep it up. I mean, that's about the only thing I can try to do.
Definitely a dedicated driver there. Well, I'll tell you what, though, taking nothing away from you here tonight, Jody. A heck of a job battling through this field. You really worked your way around the track. Total, I think, as we look at it, total of, I believe it was 25, 30 laps led for you tonight. Really doing the unacceptable racing and Griffco Property Management sponsors proud. Is there any final thanks or shout-outs you'd like to give for your runner-up finish?
As usual, all my teammates, Unacceptable Racing. Benny, he's pretty much my only teammate that runs with me over here. I mean, we talk all evening and try to get this thing going. And, I mean, Kyle Barnes, I mean, he puts on a heck of a show. I mean, I may be out of the hunt for the rest of the season, but I'm pretty much bet you the next season I'll be here and be ready to rock and roll too. Also, I mean, good win to Tanner Cook. I mean, he drove a heck of a race. Before all that happened at that last caution, I knew I wasn't going to catch him. But then he got caught up in that little bit of mayhem in turn 2 on that restart, and that gave me a little room. But yeah, thank you also to Digital Forge Broadcasting, and like I said again to Kyle Barnes, man.
Well, hopefully we'll be able to see you at least a couple more times before the season's over. But if you gotta go out on top. Jody Green, you're at the top of the field in points tonight. Good racing. We'll hopefully see you here in the future.
Thank you, man. I'll definitely be back. We hope to see you here, too.
All right. Well, there you have it, folks. Number 13 car finishing in second position tonight. Going to go talk to the guy coming away with the victory. Had a chance to talk to him during a caution flag. Really felt like he had his car together, was looking really good. Got caught up in a little animosity there, a little congestion in turn 2. And Jody Green was able to get by you at one point. You started reeling him in there with about 5 laps to go, working, digging. Turn number 3, we're going to walk back through this with you, Tanner. Turn number 3, that entry point, making contact right there with Hameka. You saw Jody Green push high up in turn number 3, kind of opening up the doorway, as I put it. What did you see? What was going through your mind at that point?
First I was kind of shocked because it looked like that car was going to let us go and let us race for the win clean. And then, honestly, it looked like he just forgot how to turn the daggone car because it looked like he just drove straight into Jody. And I hate to take a win like that, but sometimes you got to take them the way you get them.
Well, taking the win in almost a demolition derby with drift mixed into it, plowing pretty much through Tom Hameka, not taking anything away from Tom Hameka, but it looked like, from the standpoint up here in the booth, the doorway was open. You were going to take it. You got aggressive towards it. Hameka was in front of you, and you just said, you know what, I'm pushing this guy out of the way, taking back the lead, and really looking loose out of turn number 4. Once you started to push through Hameka, take us to let the people and the viewers out there know what was going through your mind at that point.
Well, at that point, I mean, after he ran over Jody, might as well run over him. If he's going to take the leader out, might as well do all I can to get around him before he takes me out before that 100 feet to the finish line. You just got to go for it sometimes.
And go for it you did. Last week with your victory at Rockingham, you moved up into the top 10 in points, picking up 4 positions. Tonight definitely helping out the cause to further that. Jody Green mentions he might not be available the rest of the season. What's this going to do as far as your hopes to possibly come away with victory in the light modifieds?
Well, missing the first 4 races was really a big hit, but I believe now we're just going for wins and let the points fall as they fall. You can't do nothing about them.
All right. Well, is there any additional thanks or shout-out you'd like to give for your victory here at Martinsville?
I got to thank the sponsors, you for broadcasting, and Kyle when he actually decides to show up to help run the race, unlike tonight.
All right. Well, congratulations again on a very dramatic fashion, Tanner. You took the victory here tonight. We look forward to seeing you guys battle it out next week at Stafford.
Thank you, sir.
Well, there you have it, folks. Tanner Cook helping his cause in the top 10 in points. We'll look to continue his climb towards the light modified points lead. So see if we could get some thoughts here, final thoughts from Mr. Barnes. He's available. We'll just check in here real quick, folks. It doesn't look like he's currently encumbered talking a little bit with some of the drivers. So fortunately, we'll not be able to get a final interview there. Would like to get some thoughts from Mr. Race Control himself, but unfortunately, that'll have to wait until next week. Final results on your screen. Up in the Tour Modified division, Peterson and DeMerchant yet again pulling themselves away from the field. Cody Fisher, though, look for him to make a heck of an impact at 83 machine next week at Stafford. Kyle Leverall and Tom Hameka rounding out the top 5 in the Tours. LeByre will finish out in 6th. Tanner Cook takes victory there in the lights. Jody Green, Zach Knowles, Scott Naslin, your top 4. Benny Ellis and John Clements rounding out the field for the lights, and Wade Cheetah, Robbie Bunden will round out the field for the Tours. Peter Talmas here tonight, making his debut as well, but for a little autograph session for the fans. Again, coming up next week, next Wednesday night, 9:15, folks. If you haven't done so already, make sure you hit subscribe out there on that YouTube channel as the Modified Madness Tour storms into Stafford to take on 125 laps. Still some great racing action. A little stale tonight as this turns prevented some things, but next week you can count on some great battling to take place. Find us on the web, forgebroadcasting.com, on Facebook. Just look up Digital Forge Broadcasting Network. ChampionshipRacingAssociation.com for the league. I'm Dustin Caldwell saying thanks for tuning in. We'll see you Friday night.